Hi, how y'all doing? It is Tuesday, January 14th, 1 p.m. as of recording this video. See. I, I'm going to try again to shorten the GoFundMe text. I've been having a lot of issues with their website of late. And the last time I tried to edit it, it wouldn't let me do anything, and I found out a couple of days later that that was because my campaign was actually in review, and I don't know if that's because I've had it up for so long, or if that's because someone tried to report it as as fraudulent or whatever. I have actually contacted the GoFundMe team and emailed them some of my medical documents, diagnosis, whatnot, so they know that, everything I'm saying on my videos is true and it's not BS. But I've had, on and off throughout this period, a few that have viewed my channel and been 100% certain I'm trying to run a game here. Some of them have been downright venomous about it, and quite a number of them have been related to the fact that they don't like my political standing, even though this is not a political channel. I had, for those of you that haven't been with me that long, I had a gentleman a while back find my look into me and find all my personal information, and he went and found where I live and the details of my home and my mortgage, and he was good enough not to post my address, but he posted the property size that I live on, my house details, mortgage details, and the estimated value of my home, in an attempt to get people not to donate to my campaign, I guess. He was also honest enough to say that the mortgage is not paid off. There's still a balance on the mortgage. He did not say what the balance was, because if he had, it would have defeated his argument. But he did say there was still a balance on the home. Regardless, I'm sitting on this asset that could be sold rather than me going to GoFundMe. So just very briefly, I live in a small 2-story farmhouse on 2 acres of land, which for the part of Florida I live in is a vast kingdom, because you don't find large properties close to St. Augustine as a rule, and it seems like they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller as time progresses. But the last time I checked, my estimated property value, this is estimated, this is not the hard value of my property, this is not someone, having come out here and kick the tires, so to speak. This is just the estimated property value. The last time I looked at it, sat around 460,000, and he was saying that this guy's got almost $500,000 property, yet he's got a GoFundMe. Well, yes, my property is estimated at 460. Somebody comes out here and, like I said, actually kicks the tires, the real hard value would go down considerably, because this house was my ex-wife and I bought this house over 10 years ago, back in 2014, and it was a foreclosure and a fixer-upper when we bought it. And over that 10 years, I've put a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of money into the house. But at the same time, when we bought the house, I was just beginning recovery from chemotherapy and radiation. I never quite got back to anywhere near full health, and I was still working a job that on average I put in 50 to 60 hours a week. A lot of times went well over that for drive time alone, because I worked for one of the largest international commercial pest control companies as a pest control technician, and I worked for the commercial division. I didn't do houses, I did businesses, offices, warehouses, hospitals, schools, apartment buildings, condos, restaurants, I did everything but private housing. And I was the problem solver in the branch. I was paid by the hour, where most of the technicians were paid by commission. So most of the technicians at the time, their goal was to get in and get out and get on to the next stop as fast as possible. They didn't have time to solve problems. So that was my job. I didn't have a local route. I covered our entire territory, and we had a very large territory. We had the bulk of North Florida. Our territory went from Daytona Beach south, north to the state line, and a few small occasions over the state line, and west out into the beginning of the Panhandle. One day, my day started here in St. Augustine, and it ended in Cedar Key on the Gulf Coast. So, I've put a lot of money into the house, a lot of time into the house, but I still haven't fixed everything, done everything that I wanted to do or that it needed to be done, and I have been able to do less so since since my cancer had come back in 17, and then even less after about 21, when my heart issues really started giving me a fit and my wife left me. So it has an estimated value of about 460,000. Real value would probably be somewhere in the high threes. And honestly, most of the value in my home, especially right now in today's market, is in the land itself, because I have had realtors and property developers express interest in my land, not for the house, but because they want to bulldoze my house and then put 6 or 8 houses on this piece of property, if not more, or put One guy said they would be interested in my property and they could put like 6 townhouses or something like that on it. Number one, the offers to buy are always extremely low. They want it, they don't want to pay much for it. Number two, because the housing market is so bad here in Florida right now, it's better for me to stay where I am than move somewhere else. I've had a lot of people say, well, why don't you sell your place and downsize and make it easier on you? The main reasons I don't do that is because, like I said, the real value of my house, my place would be somewhere in the high threes, and I could downsize and relocate if I was to get that money, but I would not receive that money, not all of it, not most of it, because I have a mortgage on my property for $245,000, and I owe somewhere just north of $240,000 because the bulk of my monthly mortgage payment goes to my interest. Only about I think $230 some goes to my principal. The rest of it is interest and escrow. Massively interest. I pay well over $1,200 a month in interest alone, and today is considered actually really low. The interest rates today are much higher than what I pay. I'd have to look. I think I'm paying like 5.6, 5.7. And I've heard interest rates are north of 9 now. I don't know. I don't look for. I haven't been looking to buy another house because this is pretty much it. So if I sold my house, I would be lucky to get high threes, and by the time my mortgage was paid off and this fee and that fee and whatever, I would be very lucky to have around $100,000. I would probably be and after everything was said and done, I would probably get less than that. And right now here in St. Augustine, studio apartments, that's a one-room apartment, are going for as much as $2,000 a month. And that is more than what I pay for my monthly mortgage payment on, a 2-story house on 2 acres of land. I can show you a rundown mobile home that needs about $10,000-$15,000 worth of work before it's livable here in St. Augustine, and it's like 15, 16 years old, and they want almost $300,000 for it. So yeah, it sounds really good that I'm sitting on this $500,000 asset, but the asset itself is estimated at almost that. Not even $500,000. It's estimated at almost that. But that's not the real value. And like I said, the real hardline value, I would not even get that because my mortgage is going to have to be paid off first if I were to sell. If I were to sell, I would end up having to rent. And, you say, well, yeah, that's cheaper. Yeah, it generally is cheaper, but nowadays not by much. And I would have to go far inland, probably to a very small area. and before I could find a place that I could afford to rent. And that would put me at a distance from all of my doctors. I would have to, try to start over medically, and my medical situation is so deep and complex right now that that would be a nightmare. Plus, it would end up having to probably be an area that was a good distance away from any large town where I would be likely to find uh, doctors capable of dealing with all of the issues that I have to wrestle with right now. It would put me at losing custody of my son because this is the county, city, the zip code that he's established in, and I would not be able to get him to school or any of his any of his you know dealings or goings on here, doctor's appointments. It would require me to travel to do so, and I wouldn't be able to do it. And I mean, a lot of people, I guess, they don't understand it. I don't know why. It's got to be because they don't have children. Uh, but my son, he's my life. He's my world. And if I don't have him, I don't have a reason to keep doing this. I don't have a reason to keep dealing with this. Um, I keep getting people telling me that, there's a lot of people a lot worse off than you, and, you should be thankful. And I get that. And I know that there are people in way worse shape than I am. Uh, but at the same time, what I go through every day, what I've been going through for years, is not easy. I 1000% guarantee every single person that has made that comment to me that they would not be able to live for years with what I've had to live with, losing what I've had to lose, having their entire lives be basically taken away from them beyond their control, nothing you can do about it. Because all of the things I used to love, all of the things that used to make me me, are gone, except for my son. And 99% of those things that are gone, I can never get back. I will never be healthy enough or strong enough to be the person that I used to be and to do the things that I used to enjoy doing. My fire has been put out. The only ember I have left is my son. Uh, and he sustains me. He keeps me going. But if I don't have him, I'm just not going to keep doing it. So, that for, people that have signed on recently is, yes, I have a house, and, it has some value to it, but it's not value that I can access. So that's why I don't sell. That's why I'm trying to, right now, get together enough money to get current on my mortgage. I got screwed by Medicare last year. They stopped paying for my Part B premiums. They did not notify me for 3 months, and they weren't going to notify me. I had to call uh, Social Security Administration when I got my November 1 check, and it was $524 short. Um, and they told me that they had sent out a letter, but the letter was dated October 31st. I didn't get that letter until November 12th or 14th or something like that. And it was either pay the mortgage or pay the utilities and buy groceries. Because without that $524, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do both. With what I make a month, I make just enough to pay the mortgage, pay the utilities, and buy a few groceries. And then I have a $220 healthy food benefit card from United Healthcare that won't buy everything, but it buys some things. And I basically live on a combination of everything, about $400 a month after the bills are paid. And with property taxes and home insurance having gone up last year, and my electric company having increased their rates, I haven't been able to live on that. My electric company has they're out of their damn minds, they're using the hurricanes as an excuse to charge double from what they would have a couple of years ago. And it's not like they're not making their money, but it's a damned if you do or damned if you don't situation, because you either cop it and eat that payment or you don't have electricity. And I mean, I'm a country boy through and through. I could live without electricity, but then the county will come in and say you have to have electricity to live. So it's kind of a messed up world we live in right now. If you can't pay it, you're basically SOL, because you have to pay it if you want to continue to live and do. So I'm going to restructure the GoFundMe text to reflect what's going on right now, and I'm going to, in the next couple of days, release probably a 3-part recap video series, because there's too much to do in one recap video, and this will be for new people. One of my longtime subscribers suggested that I just link the last recap video I did, and that's a good idea, but I've had very significant changes that have occurred since I made that last recap video, and these are changes primarily the fact that I got screwed out of $524 back in November and wasn't able to make my mortgage payment. Now I'm a month behind, and my mortgage lender is already saying something about it. So going forward, I have to center on the fact that I need this as soon as I can possibly get it, if I can get it. Otherwise, I'm going to be, up the creek. So that's why I'm going to do a new recap video. It's going to be a couple of videos, probably 3 at least. But to try to get everyone that has recently joined my channel up to speed, so you don't have to go back and watch 60 plus videos. So that's that. My next video will be the start of these recap videos, and hopefully my videos will make their way to some philanthropic foundation that will be able to help me out, and I don't have to, worry about just regular folks trying to make donations, because I hate that. I really do. I hate regular people, being the ones that are donating. I desperately need the help, but I can't stand the idea that people of very small means are the ones that are donating. That's why I've said something in the past about that group out, that that group of staffers that set up their GoFundMe. Hopefully some philanthropic foundation will find me and help me out with this one kind of big chunk that I need now. We'll see. GoFundMe link will be in the description. Thank you all so very much for continuing to watch and follow me. And talk to you all again tomorrow or the next day. Have a good one. Bye-bye.